I didn't unmute. Brilliant. Excellent start to 2025. Hello, Happy New Year. I literally, every single time I start a live stream, there's always like something, let alone the fact that it's not unusual for me to forget to unmute. So apologies for that. The doorbell rang literally as I was about to press go live because we had a parcel. And then my dog has just started running around. I think she's just gone. That was part of the like, as this came up. The thing about having a three-legged dog, which you may or may not know that I have, I've got a three-legged lurcher, is that because, so she's a front leg amputee. So she's got one front leg, two back legs, and she's quite a big dog. She, as she sort of goes around, she sort of hops on her front leg and it's quite loud. So her skittering around compared to other dogs is like quite noisy. You can hear her hopping around. We've got hard floors. So yeah, it's quite disruptive. So literally, as I say, the doorbell rang, I went and answered it. And then the dog started skittering around. And then I was like, how does all of this work again? But yeah, Happy New Year, John. Nice for you to join in this morning, and Happy New Year to everybody who is joining. And if you're joining this not live, Happy New Year as well. And let me know in the comments what you're up to. What are your goals? I put a goals video up 2 days ago. Go check that out if you haven't seen it already, just to sort of set my intentions for the year. Personally, I really needed that break. It's been a really busy period of time leading up to Christmas. And I ended up getting a cold as well. I'm still a bit like not 100%, but I feel like mentally rested. And essentially, I'm not going to be teaching for a little bit. Some of you might know that I part-time teach. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm working on a book. And I feel like that's taken a bit of the unpredictability out of my life, which is, you know, pleasant. So yeah, although last night I was getting everything ready for the kids being back at school, and while I was kind of getting my youngest ready, I had a quick look on the calendar because I thought, I'll just double check that they are all back. Youngest isn't. So she's upstairs, just like hanging out in her room. So she's old enough to understand the concept of a live stream. So I was like, you can pop down, but obviously like my screen and my microphone, you know. Yeah, so she's chilled upstairs, and then we're going to go out this afternoon. Happy New Year, Emma. I have recently discovered Emma's channel on YouTube. Go and check her out. It is fab. I love what she's up to. By the way, I'm using my proper mic. I'll try and move it without making a load of noise. Don't normally for the live streams, but I thought I'd treat you to some good sound. So let me know if it sounds okay. Equally, there is a massive storm outside. Part of why I'm using my proper mic is I think it doesn't pick up those background noises so much because it is loud sitting here. I'm in an extension with like loads of windows. So it's quite like you can really hear the storm. And my tumble dryer is going as well. So it's not like the quiet Zen-like experience that one may wish for. Emma says, first day properly back being sensible today, grumble, grumble, same, although I only work a half day on Mondays. So that kind of eases me in. And also little one is around. But because of the holidays, she and I do have an understanding, like she gets that I have to work a bit. And I would normally be out in the afternoon anyway. So my day kind of looks as it ordinarily would. And she's at school tomorrow. So yeah, I'm kind of back in the office, but not fully back in the office. I do some writing this morning. I've been writing lists. I've even made a phone call already this morning. Like I'm on it. I'm not on it, but as on it as I ever get. So as always, if you're new to this, we do 3 times 15-minute writing sprints. It's just a little start to the week, 45 minutes of writing, just like get some words down, have a chat, have some accountability. It's pleasant. You don't have to write. I don't always. Sometimes I do admin while I'm on here because sometimes that's what my brain wants to do. But predominantly I do writing tasks. Predominantly the people joining me do writing tasks, but you absolutely don't have to. If you just want this on while you go and do some housework and then you can pop back every 15 minutes for a chit chat, that's cool as well. Whatever you want to get up to. So we'll start the first 15 minutes. If you're new here, I have behind me. And so you may see me talking to her to set my timer and to do some music. So I'm not talking to myself on this particular occasion. Neither have I forgotten to unmute like I did at the beginning of this live stream. So there is a plan, but that's what's occurring. So we'll do the first 15 minutes and then we will reconvene for a chat. So I'm going to stick my banner up so that we all know what's going on. And then I'm going to mute myself. See you all back here shortly. All right, that is the end of our first writing sprint. So let's take a break. Hope it went well. I have been working on my karate book today. I haven't got much done. What did I? Let me see. Yeah, like 200 words. But I've got, oh, what's happened upstairs? Did you hear that bang? Yeah, haven't quite hit the flow yet and had to look a couple of things up. I very much appreciate Emma letting me know that the microphone sounds okay. If you've joined me since I was talking about it earlier, I'm using my proper mic instead of the one on my laptop. Hopefully sounds a bit better and hopefully cuts out a bit of the ambient sound. It's loud in here with the storm, and also I've got my washing going. I have the habit of always, when I get up, first thing I do is put the washing on. This is a family of 5. There are mountains of washing. Sometimes, even with that system, I have to do more than one load in a day. And the fact that in my head, it's like one of the first things I do just means that gets done, if that makes sense, rather than like lagging behind. Anyway, really cool story. But yeah, that's just a part of my routine. It's just get it sorted, cleared, done. Mark says, Happy New Year, same back to you, and is asking about getting an ISBN and a barcode through the independent publishing network. I don't know anything about this because it's not how I work. If anybody else watching has any information, then pop it in the comments. Personally, I buy my ISBNs through Nielsen, and I buy like a big bulk. So I think my most recent purchase, I think initially I bought 10, and then I might have even bought, did I buy 1,000? No, that seems like a lot. 100. I must have bought 100. Yeah, it must have been 100. 1,000 would just be crazy. I'm never going to publish that many books. But because each book, I have multiple formats. So if I'm releasing, any of them. So my most recent one, Captivating Kelp Forests, I've used a paperback one. I didn't use one for the ebook on that particular one. I've got one saved for the audiobook. But then if you take something like self-publishing, paperback, hardback, audiobook, ebook, because I'm using an aggregator for the ebook. So that's 4 for that book. So if I just had bought 10 ISBNs, that wouldn't last me very long. So I bought 100. And then for the barcodes, if I'm adding the barcodes myself, if you use print on demand, you can add them, the actual the templates and stuff, you can add them via that way. But if you're doing it yourself and you're formatting it yourself, personally, I use a website. I think is it called Bookow, something like that? Yeah. And you give a donation, and they've always been a good enough resolution. Yeah, that's all right. So book, as in how you spell book, and then OW, Bookow, and you, or Booko, I don't know. And you just fill in your details and you can request an ISBN. So that's personally how I do it, but other people might do things differently. And Emma says she's got 200. As I say, if you want to, I had a quick look at the independent publishing network, and you can get everything you need, basically. If that works for you, everybody does things differently, then go for it. But I have no experience. It's not how I've done things. So apologies. But often you can ask, there are some really good Facebook groups where you can go on, there's like hundreds or thousands of writers, and there'll be somebody who's used it and can let you know if it's good, if it's value for money, and so forth. So, but personally, it's not how I do it. So I don't have the experience. And you're welcome, Mark. No problem. Apologies, I can't help anymore. Emma is also an early morning washing person. It's, it's these little systems. It just helps. This is like a really busy household because, as I said, we've got 3 kids, and every day they all need to be somewhere. We have some respite this week, actually, because some of the clubs haven't started back up. We've also got a dog. I have an excessive amount of hobbies. I think the only night off we have is Tuesday, maybe Friday, but sometimes there's things on Fridays. So it's like every day is really full on, and it's like working, school, and then get home and take people places and do things. So I actually do most of my chores in the morning, and I would say it's, you know, a lot about communication, and me and my husband having like everything, you know, laid out of like who's responsible for what, so that all of the things get done, because it's nuts. Like the dog needs walking twice a day, and she needs quite long walks because otherwise she gets mega zoomies. We've got chickens, like there's a lot. So to make it function, it's just like we have to be really systematic. It really helps. I'm happy to make videos of like routines for, not just as a writer. I've done a couple of like productive routines and things like that, but as like a mum of like a working mum of a busy family, I'm happy to do stuff like that. If anyone is interested, always let me know what videos you'd like to see and I will make them. Got to film something this week and I don't know what I'm going to film yet. Haven't decided. I might do my top reads of 2024 actually, because that's a good one to just get done early on in the year. Otherwise it seems like a weird time to put it out. Anyway, let's do another writing sprint. So another 15 minutes and see what we can get done. I'm more in a state of flow, so hopefully I will get more than just 200 words done. Right, I'm going to mute myself and I'll see you back here in 15 minutes. Okay, that's the end of our 15 minutes. That went like, I cannot believe that a whole 15 minutes has gone. So let's take a 5-minute break. How much more have I written? Another 200 words ish. So it's 187. So clearly that's my rate at the moment. So be it. It's nice to be sat writing, and actually I really want to get into my novel. My husband likes to, was it on Family Guy? They're like, how's your novel going? He likes to do that at me because I've been writing that novel for years, but I would like to work on that as well. As I've said on here before, I don't, because that's at the editing, I mean, serious editing, like it needs a lot of work, but that's the stage it's at. And when I edit, I like to talk to myself, not like in a mad way. I like to read it out loud, and that really helps. And I would look like a mad person on these live streams reading my book out loud to myself. But I actually use that multiple times during the editing process, because you stumble over bits that aren't right, or you say it out loud and you're like, that's stupid. So yeah, I can't work on that during the live streams, but there we are. Mark makes a good point. So a timer countdown would help. I agree. When I first started doing these live streams, which I think must have been this time last year, I don't know if I started in January exactly, but when I started doing them, I didn't want to obviously just be sat here with like nothing. And so the reason I use StreamYard, which you can see the little logo, because I don't have the paid version. So I can remove that logo if I have the paid version. I don't. I use StreamYard so I can have these banners here. So as you can see, it says writing break. I can put up writing sprint. I have one that just says bear with me that I've obviously used at some point. I can pop up your comments like I did with Mark's just then. So I can choose what's down here. So I'm able to have something, because there's no way of doing that in YouTube itself if I live stream directly from YouTube. But having a timer, like a transparent timer, is really hard to do. I've looked it up, and you have to like use another program that feeds into it, because there are other live streaming platforms that I could use, I think, that are more sophisticated, but they cost a lot of money. This one has a free version I can use. And I mean, to use something more sophisticated, I would obviously have to be making the money from the live stream to pay for the thing, if that makes sense, which I don't. The views over the lifetime of each of these live streams, because obviously people join me live, but then people watch it afterwards. It's not going to pay for that. So kind of StreamYard is the only way I can do this, where I can have the writing up, and that's kind of all I can do, unless I haven't got my head around how to do it with a transparent thing. If anyone knows an easy way, there are complicated ways, but an easy way, then that would be cool. I suppose there would be something where I could have like multiple banners, but obviously I'm working, so I need something I can just set and disappear. So I know it's not ideal, I agree, but I don't know of an easy way of doing it that would be available. If somebody does, please do let me know. But there we are. How are you guys getting on with your writing? What are you up to? What are you working on? I'm now, as I've said, I'm not going to be teaching. I normally teach 2 days a week. I am definitely not teaching in January. And so I'm going to be working on the soil book. But my intention is to do a small amount of writing every morning. So the soil book is done. It's written. The pictures are drawn. I'm going to be formatting over the next few weeks and ordering proofs and things like that. And working on edits and approvals and da-da-da. So that's not going to be an all day, every day situation. So I'm hoping to start my day with a little bit of writing. What I like to do is journal for a bit, and then like do maybe 2 or 3 pages, and then write. Even if I just write for 20 minutes, I mean, that is such a joy. I haven't had time outside of these writing sprints for stuff that isn't being demanded of me, if that makes sense, for just stuff that I want to work on. I haven't been able to do that. So that would just be wonderful. I am really looking forward to spending some time doing that. I also have 4 audiobooks that I've recorded but not edited because I just haven't had the time. I have a horrible feeling that all I have is a bit of me saying copyright 2024. I'm just going to have to use it because I'm not going to pay for studio time to say 2025. I think I said 2025 once, and then I can copy that in across the 4 audiobooks. I think I said it by accident. I hope so, because yeah. Otherwise, I mean, really doesn't matter if it says the year before. It will be the beginning of 2025, and I did record it in 2024, so it is a technicality. Whatever. I hope to be working on that a little bit as well over the coming weeks. So that's what I am doing. Mark suggests your phone on display on your desk with a countdown. Yeah, actually, do you know what? I hadn't thought of that. My phone, no, just because. So I do some social media management for a couple of people and also some things I'm involved in. The notifications on my phone are diabolical at all times, and it would drive you up the wall. However, I'm sure, yeah, I could get a thing that counts down. There must be a timer in this house somewhere that I can use. Literally hadn't thought of that. Sometimes it's the simple things. Thanks, Mark. And he is working on Mammal Mayhem. Yeah, the illustrations and editing bit, the finishing energy, I feel like is a lot. As I say, with the soil book, it's written. So this is just the putting together. It's exciting, but it is intense. I don't do the illustrations. Mark, do you? I have them, and I'm going to be putting the book together from Rhiannon Thomas, who I work with as an illustrator. She is fab. And Mark's social media is Mark Edwin. I will add you in a bit. But yeah, guys, go check him out. Equally, I'm Emma Rosenbooks on everything. If you haven't already found me on the things, then I always appreciate a follow and the interactions. I don't know about anyone else, like it's a constant battle with the algorithms. And every time I'm like, oh, things are taking off, I'm like, no, they're not. So yeah, all the interactions always helpful. Right. Let's do some more writing. This is our last 15-minute sprint, and then we'll have a chat at the end. As we've done on the other 2, I will mute. I'm still laughing at, yeah, you could just use countdown timer. Yeah, I could. Literally, just like an alarm clock. Yeah, brilliant. Right, okay. Writing sprint, 15 minutes. Let's go. All right, guys, that's the end of the last writing sprint. It's been really nice. How much have I done? I had a good session in that last bit. We'll try and select all of this. I've got a whole page. I think I went from here. This book is very kind of, I'm just writing the bits that I feel like writing. 876 words. So I did like a big section in that last sprint. I'm just doing the bits that I feel like, and it's not very cohesive. I kind of need a session where I actually go through and see where I'm up to. And I'm very much getting the words down. Some of it is complete trash writing. That last little bit, I really enjoyed writing. I wasn't expecting to get to what I did. And I hit it and was like, oh, this is nice to write about, actually. So, I enjoyed that. What did you guys get done? I mean, it's not all about word count. It's just having got some writing down to start the week. In my opinion, it's just a nice thing to do. But what are you working on? What have you achieved? What can you pat yourself on the back for? Did you solve a problem? Did you get some bits done that you needed? Did you sit and write a to-do list? Like, what did you do? I would love to know. And as always, even if you're not joining this live, I still want to know. So a couple of people have called me M today, and Happy New Year. And it's funny, I haven't put up my banner that says writing break. In fact, I'll just take the banner down together. I prefer to be called M, although I would probably spell it with one M, not two, but I mean, who cares? And sorry if you can hear my tumble dryer going. Like, I actively, when I was at university, which I think is a time where a lot of people do this kind of thing, I actively said, I prefer being called M than Emma. Like, it feels more natural. And I tend to sign myself M, and I tend to, like, when I became an aunt, I was like, I'm Auntie M. No one calls me Auntie M. I'm Auntie Emma. No one in my family calls me Emma. My husband does not call me M. He calls me Emma. My dad calls me Ems. And my uni friends call me M or M's, mostly M. But yeah, like nobody calls me it. And I've just given up, because clearly, like, people don't recognize that as, you know, a name that suits me, I guess. But when my uni friends, one of my other friends wanted us to refer to her with like a nickname that she preferred, and we all did, and the same for me. And I think we've all kind of stuck with that's what we call each other. And maybe that's where it came from, is that like phase of life. I suppose as well, I don't introduce myself as M typically. If I met somebody, I'd be like, oh yeah, hi, I'm Emma. So, you know, maybe that's what I need to do. But I don't know, does it feel pretentious to be like, hey, I'm M? I don't know. But yeah, it's just funny to have people calling me M, because actually that's the name that I prefer people I know to call me. I don't care if anyone else calls me it, that's fine. A couple of people at work do, actually. Whenever someone calls me M, I'm like, oh, that's nice, thanks. What are you up to for the rest of the day? I actually have a list next to me here, written on scrap paper. This is an old teaching worksheet, which I wrote yesterday, but I've got it here ready, with all the jobs I need to do this afternoon when I'm out with my daughter. I've just got a whole load of things. Like, I need to pop into a carpet shop. I need to book some eye appointments. Exciting stuff. And before that, so as I said, she's at home. She's not at school today, which was a shock to me. I am going to go up and see her. She has been awesome. She does love screen time. Her New Year's resolution was to watch more YouTube. I was like, okay. She really likes watching Let's Plays. So I'm going to go and speak to her and get her off screens and do some stuff with her. Hopefully it'll be some bits where I can continue doing some work. I've got some social media bits I need to do. Realistically, I don't think I'm going to achieve anything else work-wise today. I managed to get a bit of time before I came online. The time when I'd normally take her to school was like bonus time. So I have already managed to get some admin bits done today. Then tomorrow is my first proper day back in the office, when I shall start working on formatting the soil book. I'm going to properly put together like my to-do list and my plans for the next couple of weeks and get stuff done. So that's where I'm at. I will be back. Sorry for sniffing. I will be back next week. As I have been, intend to be here every week, excepting sometimes in school holidays. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. Depends what our plans are. Like in the half term, sometimes I can do it. The term holidays tend to be harder because, you know, in the summer we got tons of stuff going on. Easter, sometimes like we might go away for a couple of days, things like that. And, you know, there's like literal Easter, Christmas, or family stuff. So there's just like always things going on. So yeah, I might not be here in those periods of time, but term time, Mondays, definite. I will always try to let you know. I'll always try and put it in the comments on my YouTube channel if I won't be here. I always try and schedule so you can see when I come off of this live stream, I will schedule next week's. So I'd love to see you again next week for same again, 3 15-minute writing sprints. If there's anything you'd like to see from my channel, anything you'd like to see from these sprints, then do let me know. But thanks for joining me today. It's been really, really fun. I'll see you all soon and take care. Have a good week.